Welcome back to Affiliated, everybody. We're glad you're here. I'm live in the studio right now with my new friend, Ernesto Mejia. Thank you so much for joining, Ernesto.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for having me.
Yeah, no, remind me where you flew in from?
From Monterrey, Mexico.
Monterrey, Mexico. Yeah, we appreciate you coming up. For those of you that don't know Ernesto, which you may have seen some stuff about him, some of the material we filmed for you here already, depending on when you listen to this, but Ernesto is a platinum medium buying affiliate on ClickBank, and he's flown up here to Boise to enjoy the cold weather, I guess. It's been pretty chilly.
Yeah, exactly. I have never seen snow in the last 20 years, so it was a great opportunity for me to get cold weather.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But no, you've been great to kind of help some of our Spark students out and kind of get to know and the community piece and let's just do some content with you. And we're very happy to have you here on Affiliated. I'm excited to dive in and let our listeners learn a little bit more about you. I'm excited for kind of the sellers who might be listening to learn more from this platinum affiliate and media buying side, and from potential media buyers or people who are doing media buying, maybe to varying degrees of success, kind of your method and model and mindset around it. I think you had some good speaking points earlier this morning when I caught some of your talk just around how you approach this affiliate game, right? Because remember me, how long have you been doing affiliate marketing?
I started with affiliate marketing at ClickBank in the summer of 2018, so almost 5 years now. At first, I took a ClickBank training called Profit Engine, mainly focused on Facebook ads, which I was kind of familiar already from an e-commerce store I held for 6 months. And it was like going again to the university, polishing some skills, getting others to a more proficient level, understanding the importance of copywriting, the importance of a landing page, the critical points on the funnel, and understanding key metrics so that I can understand what tweaks do I need to do to improve my numbers. So at first I got into affiliate marketing because I wanted to make money.
Gotcha.
I saw it as a business.
So, because when you were telling me earlier that you had been in, like the corporate world for almost 2 decades, and then you left that. Did you go straight into affiliate marketing, or you mentioned that you had some e-commerce stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I was 20 years in corporate America doing an engineering role. So I had no entrepreneurship experience myself, and neither in my family we had a successful example on entrepreneurship. So when I went into my first my only e-com store, I was feeling familiar or comfortable with the technical aspect of building the Shopify store, but I was not aware on what was needed in order to attract customers to the store, right?
That's a common place to see with a lot of people. They're like, I have this product, I've made this thing, now what? I'm like, oh gosh, you should have been at the now what a long time before you actually made the product or whatever it was. Like you need that market fit, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah. I was so much into engineering in my previous role that I was not aware on the importance of marketing. It's great to have a product, but unless you market it appropriately, it will be attractive and people will be willing to buy it.
100%. It's not so much you build it, they will come. It's you build it, then you market it, and then hopefully they come. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how you got, so you're doing the Shopify stuff on the e-commerce side, and that got you into media buying, it sounds like.
Into media buying in Facebook, I got around 100 sales during 6 months in my e-commerce store.
Oh, nice.
Although from various niches. I was into probably more than a dozen different niches, which didn't allow me to get proper traction in one niche only.
Oh, you're spread pretty thin.
Yeah,
then.
I was spread switching, and I was using the same pixel over and over, so it was I was not training it properly to go after my right customers for that particular niche I was running at that point in time.
So your pixel spread out across all the offers you were selling.
Exactly.
Gotcha. What made you go from that into being an affiliate then?
Well, as I was not successful after 6 months, I thought, 6 months is a reasonable time to decide on whether to continue or not. So I didn't felt like I was in the right place. I believe e-com dropshipping is a valuable business model, but I was not under the right strategy. I had no coach around me, no one who can guide me accordingly. So I gave up on e-commerce. Fortunately.
So you say you had 100 sales in 6 months, but it wasn't successful. Does that mean
not successful? None of my Facebook campaigns were profitable.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I was I saw myself as losing money. I didn't saw myself as buying data and learning from it, which I later on learned that was a stage at which I was, and I should have continued that path.
Well, selfishly, I'm glad you didn't, but no. No, I think you're right, right? A lot of affiliates, when they're starting out, they look at it and they go, oh my gosh, I've spent $100 and I haven't had a sale. Like, this is a waste of money. It's like, if you're going into it very early on, hoping for positive return on ad spend, you're probably going to be disappointed from most of what I've seen. You need, like you just said, look at it like a investment into data, right? Is that, so you're like, okay, this e-com dropshipping isn't working. Is that when you went and found like how to make them different kinds of money online? You found some courses and then you pivoted into media buying?
My wife had taken a previous ClickBank training a year before around 10 different ways to earn a passive income. And one of those happened to be affiliate marketing. So when I saw a dedicated training around affiliate marketing, I decided to give a go. Previously, I had no idea at all what was affiliate marketing in the first place. I have heard marketing, but not at all affiliate marketing. So the possibility to earn a commission under a product I didn't own was appealing. It was like having an invisible e-commerce store in which I didn't have to focus on customer care,
all the deliverability, the customer service,
customer service, exactly.
All the overhead and logistics of it.
I was just focusing on media buying, on running my Facebook campaigns, and being laser focused there. So it allowed me really to concentrate my efforts at that point only by myself on media buying. At that time, I saw this as a real opportunity based on other successful cases I knew of from other people. So I thought, okay, if I put a lot of effort on this can work for me.
Gotcha. So I find that fascinating because if you started, it sounds like you had I'm impressed that you had some experience with it in the e-commerce side and it didn't work out, and you still went and did it anyway with the affiliate side and went, no, I can probably figure this out. Because I've worked with a lot of people who try something that doesn't work and think, oh, that doesn't work. Right. And they don't come back to it because that doesn't work to them. And they are pretty resistant. They have to go try something brand new. Well, you're brand new as affiliate marketing. You still leverage the Facebook media buying side of it. I was curious, like on the mental side of things, maybe for you, like what made you, I guess, comfortable coming back to Facebook media buying as a mechanism for scale?
I had a positive experience with running Facebook ads with e-com. My only ad account lasted more than 6 months. So I felt Facebook was a good platform to advertise. And the thing that convinced me more around affiliate marketing was that I could be promoting higher ticket products. In my e-com store, I was selling really $10, $20 products. So the margin was very, very little. And I didn't realize it would really take a lot of volume to make that profit. So with affiliate marketing, earning a 50% return on ad spend for $100, $200 offers was something that I considered I could scale.
So that makes total sense. So you saw like the previous data you had, well, that was never going to be profitable because the margin was so low.
Exactly.
But with affiliate marketing, the profit margin is potentially much higher.
Much higher.
So well, if you can get that many sales with a low margin, okay.
I could really focus only on media buying at higher margins and not focus on customer fulfilling or customer service at all.
That makes sense. Yeah, so like I said, so it sounds like you weren't just spread thin on doing a bunch of products with your pixel. You might have been spread thin trying to do the media buying, the product deliverability, the customer service.
Yeah, the drop shipping, the e-packet from China, and all those things. I remember the winter of 2017, I was working so many hours, and it was cold in my house, and I was using so much the computer's mouse that my hand started to hurt.
Oh, yeah, the carpal tunnel kind of thing almost? Yeah.
So I said, this is a sign that this is not for me. I mean, I'm spending too much time creating the pages, clicking here and there. It's too much labor from my side and holding too many hats at once.
So now on the affiliate side, right? Because you're focusing on, you've got the ad creative you need to make, and I assume you're doing like a bridge page.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you're doing a bridge page. Maybe that might be a few pages, I guess, if you're doing a quiz funnel or something, but maybe just 1 to 4 pages or something. And then, do you do any email list generation on that?
Not really. I know
Yep.
it's a great opportunity, but I have not I don't have plans for it in the short term.
Yeah, so you're focused on just driving clicks through to
Yeah,
the seller
cold
page.
audience that converts.
Yeah, so you're focusing on 2-ish touch points to a customer, right? With the ad and any of the bridge pages that you've
Exactly,
built.
only those two.
So you can then just refine on getting really good at those.
Exactly, and I just do minimal changes depending on which offer I promote, because I have like already a structure.
How do you choose an offer to test when you're looking at things? Like what goes into your mindset when you're looking at different offers out there in the marketplace?
Around 4 years ago, I was really into only on weight loss on the top offers, which I know they convert all year long. Then I started to go after other niches related to health, even do-it-yourself niches.
Okay. Kind of the hobbyist niches?
Hobbyist niches, exactly, like restoring batteries or solar panels, things like this. And even I have tested the pet niche to some extent. So any offer right now that has at least 100 to 150 average order value, if higher, then better, right?
Is that average order value, or is that how much they're paying?
Preferably on their CPA.
Okay, so you're looking at the average payout?
Average payout, 130 plus.
Okay, so average payout 130 plus is what you're looking at. Okay.
2-3 years ago, I was on the revenue share only, but since a year and a half, 2 years ago, CPA really has been a game changer for me at ClickBank. That has allowed me really to scale with predictable cash flow.
Yeah, because do you run anything on rev share anymore?
Just when a particular vendor is yet to offer me CPA and they want me to get a certain number of sales on rev share to really prove myself that I am a good media buyer, yes. But other than that, I prefer CPA.
Can you just go, I think for the sellers listening, they probably know why, but I'd love for you to expand on that. Like, what about CPA for you makes it like a must-have?
Exactly, because I have a clear numbers on how much money I get in, and I don't care about refunds or even chargebacks. So I prefer a fixed payout, so that I know which are my ad expenses for the day and how much money got in that will not get out of my pocket.
Yeah, it makes it much simpler for you as a media buyer, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I find too, it actually speeds up cash flow because ClickBank isn't holding reserves on the CPA commissions. So you're getting the full amount of your commission paid on that settlement cycle versus us holding X% for 12 weeks. So it speeds up your cash flow so you can actually scale more if you're on CPA.
That's true, and that really helps me to scale way quicker.
Is that 130 of average payout, has that always kind of been that number? Has it been going up? Has it been like everyone's been saying ads are getting more expensive?
Sometimes it starts at 130, and if I get better volume, every dollar counts from the vendor side. So it depends on the offer. Some offers on weight loss I have gotten 140, or nowadays they offer a bit more as prices have increased due to inflation and due to also a better average order value.
That makes sense. What are some of the friction points you run into when testing a new offer? And that might be on the creative side, maybe it's on the offer, like working with offer owner side. Like what are some like those immediate little friction points that you would want offer owners to be aware of?
I would say having the possibility to have CPA at first, especially for platinums. That we have a proven record that we can make good business with ClickBank and with vendors. In other platforms, sometimes the vendor offers a testing budget, which for me is great. $3K, $5K, $10K to test within 2-3 days if that offer really can.
So is that something the vendor's funding?
The vendor funds, yes. In some cases, it's great for me that the vendor is able to place my pixel. I know when when I use Facebook, I can place my pixel on ClickBank and it fires 90% of the time.
Yeah,
But
the
when
conversion API we've got set up there.
But when it comes to YouTube, I really need it to be placed on the vendor side. I don't use a tracker as of now.
That was my next question. If you're using like volume or
I
red track
understand
or anything like
the
that.
great benefits, the great tools of volume, red track, ClickMagic, but the only time I tested the tracker, maybe it was bad luck from my side, but I got my Google Ad account suspended.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So that has kept me
You're a little hesitant. I understand. Yeah.
a little bit away.
Okay. So sorry to interrupt there. So you're the testing budget, placing a pixel, that always helps, especially on the YouTube side.
Especially when,
where do you need that pixel?
On the first upsell page.
First upsell page. Yep. And what is any other friction points you run into that would be ideal if sellers could just wave a magic wand and do everything you'd want?
Some vendors really have a great affiliate page with lots of resources, not only in terms of email swipes and make your own hop links, also creatives and how to reach the affiliate manager at their Skype ID.
Yeah,
is great.
So do you find yourself actually using the email? Some sellers I chat with are like, do affiliates actually use these? Aren't they going to make their own? Like, what kind of creatives are helpful for you on an affiliate resource page?
Sometimes,
as a media buyer too,
some image to get an inspiration or an email swipe. There are some golden keywords or nuggets from the email swipe that I can extract and adapt to my copywriting.
For the ads you're running.
Or for the headline. Sometimes the demographic as well is good. Very important. I know typically vendors have a preference on or to which country they ship.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's good to know which is the list of countries to which it ships because sometimes it's not.
We don't want to waste ad budget on a country you can't even sell to. Yeah.
Correct. or sometimes. We know that typically are 5 or 6 countries, but sometimes they exclude 1 or 2 from the list, and it's good for us to know firsthand.
We could that can make the difference in a scaled campaign, right?
Exactly, to decrease costs.
So in your perfect world, they'd be listing which countries you should be targeting.
Right.
Yeah. Do you find that the demographic information is helpful, or do you kind of already know that, or like, yeah?
It helps to some extent, although it's a good starting point, and then we can always broaden the audience.
I like what you said about the email copy piece there, because I don't think many people have thought about the media buyers using the email copy swipe.
Exactly.
Right?
It helps me to make the script of my ad, if it happens to be on YouTube, or add some elements on the Facebook ad copy.
No, that's great insight. Thank you for that. And you mentioned YouTube because you started with Facebook, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Are you still running on Facebook, or is it mostly YouTube now?
Sporadically. Okay. Sometimes there are some pocket opportunities. I can scale way faster on Facebook, and I feel comfortable with it, although it has its up and downs. It's like a roller coaster.
Yes, yeah. When did you start messing with YouTube versus Facebook?
Around 2 years ago, I took a training from an expert coach, expert marketer in there, and then I added my own tweaks to the way of doing ads. And I found like a blue ocean there.
Nice. So you've been able to you do Facebook. So if you had to split it up like with percentages, how much are you running on YouTube versus Facebook?
Maybe it's a 20-80 at the moment. 20% on Facebook, 80% on YouTube.
Shipped over to YouTube.
Yeah, it's a trade-off with Facebook. I can get to quicker results. I can scale it quicker, but on the long run, YouTube has performed better for me. Although it requires more patience, more warm up of the ad account.
Yeah, if you're chatting with someone who's maybe it's a seller who wants to do their own media buying, or maybe it's a newer affiliate who's trying to figure out what traffic source to use. With your experience right now, how would you kind of guide them?
Well, if it's a new person and wants to get experience on running ads. Facebook is a good place to start at a low budget, $20, $50, $100. The higher, the better. In my experience, YouTube is a much more advertiser-friendly platform. I mean, Google. You don't need to spend time doing things that are really not the core of your advertising business, like in Facebook, like do a lot of engagement, warm up the fan page, put a lot of posts, all these things that are important for the platform to be compliant, but are not directly money-making activities.
That makes a lot of sense. What are some of the similarities you found between the two? Like if someone's like, oh, I'm really good at this traffic source and I want to move to Y, is there things that bridge that, or is there a lot of differences?
I would say if you are proficient testing at one platform, you can translate that pretty much to the other. So testing is key. Having a bunch of different creatives, bunch of different ad copies makes the difference to refresh and to.
Was it difficult to go from Facebook, where I assume a lot of the ads you're running might have been images, and carousel potentially there? Was that fair to say?
I had also some very short videos, but the videos were 14 seconds maximum.
Oh, very short. Okay.
Whereas on YouTube, it was between 2 minutes and 3 minutes.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
Another important difference is that on Facebook, I was more on the conversational ad copy, on the using first person narration or storytelling, whereas on YouTube it's more educational, adding more value.
How did you find going from, I guess, the Facebook style of ad copy you're running to YouTube, which sounds to me much more intensive to make?
Yes, it really requires more work.
Yeah.
And I needed to do some research. That's why I started leveraging on email swipes.
Okay, so that makes sense. You're using email swipes to kind of get inspiration for the scripts you're making for
the
your YouTube
script,
ads?
yes.
Okay. Makes a ton of sense. So yeah, sellers, use your email scripts and your
exactly.
It's
very important for us to have the affiliate resources, including email swipes. I have seen in some cases vendors that have 4 or 5 different emails, and that helps us to have some extra variety.
That's great insight there. I want to pivot a little bit because it sounds like you've leveraged different courses and education to kind of get going with different mediums. People always say, oh, like courses, it's just people trying to make money off of you. Like you can figure out everything yourself on YouTube or on Google or by Google, by researching. Like it sounds like you fall on one end of that where you'd rather go for a course. I'm curious as to A, how do you find a good course that you trust? And B, like what makes you kind of gravitate towards that method?
The ones I bought, I got the email from ClickBank, and these were some marketers that have had previous success. And when I attended their webinar, I had a trust factor in them. They seemed like really credible people. So that helped me. And they had a community in place, which was very important for me to connect remotely, virtually with other fellows at my same level. And we started to form some Skype groups and connected on a weekly basis. So that was good for me to peer with other people. After those 2-3 trainings that were evolution one of the other, I really didn't bought more. I just continued testing and doing ads and learning from other people.
Gotcha.
But I know there are great offers in the market. It really depends on maybe learning bits and bytes from different places. Just like in anything in life, you want not just one source, but 2 or 3, and then you can make your very own recipe.
That's fun. I resonate with that a lot. You can have a death by 1,000 cuts a little bit when you try to learn too much, right? You need to have enough to go off of and kind of have a proven path. But if you're trying to learn everything before you initiate,
you will even paralyze. You will not take any action. So have a balance between consuming content and getting your feet wet in the water.
What are some other, it sounds like you've been a bit of a mentor for some people in some different groups and stuff too, and with the peers you work with. What are some obstacles that you see newer people face when they're getting started that you wish they could overcome? Yeah.
One of them was, as it was in my case, that we were so much desperate financially that we were in a hurry to make money, and that prevented us to spend a good amount of time learning the fundamentals of affiliate marketing, why things work, right? So that we would be able to replicate a good performing ad copy, good performing landing page on our own, and be able to fish by ourselves. In some other cases, people has bought the course, but they had no money to run ads. So sometimes they said, okay, I had no resources, no budget, but they were still spending on entertainment, on subscription, on other things. So allocating budget for testing, seeing it as an investment.
Yeah, I'm always surprised that people are shocked that they have to spend more money on the ads, even though they're buying something that is like a Facebook ads course or YouTube ads course or something like that. And it's like, yeah,
it's like a second thought.
Yeah, like to me, it's like, well, yeah, you're buying something that is teaching you how to buy something. Like there's going to be additional purchases, right, that require you to get success there. But you're right, a lot of times it's that financial piece of.
Another thing is that people expect immediate results, or within weeks rather than months. So it's like planting a seed. You really need to take care of it over some period of time, and then you will see the results.
I hate this question because it's so arbitrary and changes for everybody, but I was just curious, like from when you started, it sounds like you already had some Facebook ad success for the e-com, but on the affiliate side, I've got a follow-up question to this, but how long did it take you to kind of start getting your first sale on that?
The first sale was around 4 months, although probably it was out of brute force. I was running ads without proper targeting, and by accident I got, quote unquote accident, I got the sale because I couldn't replicate it the weeks later. It was until I got proper coaching myself, understanding the importance of a winning image mainly, or a winning creative, and then taking it from there. So it was really 9 months since I started that I got good traction of success, making $1,000 of sales a day. That doesn't mean it was 1,000 profit, just 1,000 sales. The profit really depended on how much I was spending that day, but most of the time it was profitable.
So 4 to 9 months. So 9 months before you really started feeling like you had some traction going.
Exactly.
See, thank you for saying that, yeah, because I think even that probably sounds like an eternity to a lot of people listening, right?
Yes, and if people would have told me it's going to take you 9 months, it would have been good to get a reference, but at the same time, 9 months, it was too much time for me at that point in time. But it's a reasonable time frame to get success. Some people get it earlier, but some people don't get in there.
I'm curious, from that 9-month point, do you have any clue how long it took you to kind of like break even on how much you'd spent up to that point?
To break even,
I'm sure you're in the hole a bit, right? From running ads for 9 months.
If you add up all the trainings I bought, some coaching I bought, ad spend, probably I was still in the red while I was starting to make money, because I had invested all in all $50,000, $50,000. Probably I recovered it 9 months. 18 months or 9 months after I got continuous success. So within an 18-month period, I really could say I broke even.
Right. No, thank you for that, because I think it's, people assume that affiliate marketing is, like you said, fast to get money, and if it's not, it doesn't work. But like I said,
it definitely works.
I'm curious, what had you stick with that though? Like because I can imagine even after that 9-month process, you think, oh man, I've invested this much. There's still got a long ways to go to break even, if you will.
But I was starting to improve. I was reinvesting the funds. The thing is also, I was, in order for me to break even on a net basis, I actually had to make a profit, because I was suffering from exchange rate difference. I am living in Mexico, and at that time I only had Mexican credit cards. So I was losing 10%
on the buy too.
Exactly. I was paying losing by paying Facebook when paying them for dollars, and then when ClickBank was paying me dollars, the bank was giving me the worst exchange rate possible. So I was losing at both.
So you had a lot of headwinds to face on just the cash flow front.
I thought, okay, I have figured it out how to make a good funnel, but I still need to figure out how to improve the finance structure. So I got access to American Express business cards in Mexico, and after 6 months, somehow I spoke with somebody there that told me, hey, you can build up your credit history in Mexico to apply to US credit. And that really
Okay.
opened me the doors.
Once you were able to get U.S. credit?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Because now
I
you're
set up
paying
an
in USD to
LLC.
USD.
I was
Yep.
able to get the American Express business cards, and I was able to reinvest the money without losing any cent.
Right. It was all just staying in USD.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes it. Yeah. You could hemorrhage some.
It was a
slowly bleeding with profit
painful
there.
process for some time, but it's way better now.
It sounds like. How long did it take you to get set up as a U.S. LLC?
I started on January 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and I formed the LLC in February 2020.
Okay, but you've been media buying for 2
Media
or 3 years
buyer,
before that?
since I started, almost 2 years
Yeah.
since I started to get the LLC.
Gotcha. Yeah. That. Well, I love that insight because I mean it's gonna be different for everybody, but there's always operational things you can improve, right? That make major impacts to your top line.
Exactly. Maybe getting an LLC way earlier would have been better. I had no advice on that. I was just trying to make the first sale, then the
Yeah,
first
you're not
100,
focused on
and
that.
then
Yeah, you're
focus on how can I improve the rest of the the business model for me.
It sounds like I think we were chatting about this before the cameras are on, but how many marathons have you done?
I have been a runner for almost 30 years, but I really got into marathon training 7 years ago, and I believe this passion for endurance sport helped me to endure my business journey. To do day in, day out, training day in, day out, ads, media buying, focusing on my business. It helped me to be in good physical condition to perform better in front of the computer.
No, yeah, you saw right where I was going with that, right? That mental fortitude to kind of stick with something for an eventual long-term goal. Because I imagine just even if you had been running for 30 years or 20 years prior, deciding just to start marathons still takes a lot of build up to get to that point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say as a non-runner myself, as assuming a lot there, but I've done 10Ks. Yeah, that's my.
That's the sweet point, I would say.
Yeah. So because I find that people once they almost seem to look at like a business opportunity in like such a short time frame, like we discussed, right? And even established people like oh, I'm gonna try this. Oh, that didn't work, and they move on. But if you liken it to any big task you undertook, maybe it's graduating college or graduating high school, or maybe it's just doing whatever it took to save up for a big expense. Like it takes a lot of little things to build up to the big thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a process to make small improvements that over time add up to a big milestone, big event. So
yeah. What are some things right now in your life or your business, and depending on how personal or how business you want to focus on, what are some things right now that keep you up at night or cause friction or just like, oh, I really need to figure this out right now?
I would say scaling my business, replicating success at different niches, not relying only on one good ad account or only good one offer, expanding and improving my relations with vendors, expanding my network.
Okay, expanding network, and so it sounds like I assume more travel might be in your future. To
more travel, connecting with my through my ClickBank account manager with top vendors, speaking with industry colleagues, getting up to date on what works best on.
Yeah, I was curious. Like you mentioned that you were working with some peers and colleagues and stuff. Like, are you in some different like Discord channels, or is it Facebook, or just like people you Skype with? Like,
yeah, there are some people I Skype with that I had met in previous trainings and sometimes attending on-site events like ASW, traffic and conversions. That really helped me to get more ideas on maybe how to do things differently, to learn from others, just by listening to them.
Yeah. Do you build in any structure on an ongoing basis? Do you have people that you follow up with weekly or biweekly or monthly? Or is it just kind of as things happen? Is it like when you're building those like online like connections between events? How do you like to do that with people?
Yeah, with some I connect on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. With some others, I just follow their social media pages.
Yeah, no, I find like if you network intentionally, right, with knowing the value you can add, which you have a lot of value to add to businesses, right, and knowing what you're looking for, you can get a lot out of travel and networking,
Yes.
right? Yeah, the people that see don't do well with networking are the people that I'm just going to network and see what happens. And they can still get something from it, but it's usually very by luck, right? They have to do a lot of it versus going to something with intention.
Yeah, I like to attend events where other successful people are presenting.
Do you go to the speakers?
To some of them, yes.
Yep.
I go and have the opportunity sometimes to speak with them or just listen what they are saying. And the way they speak and listen makes me think about my own business. How can I improve it? For instance, one takeaway I took that might have been evident, but I overlooked it last year was about setting clear goals. So at ASW, I met with somebody that spoke more in detail around that. And that really resonated with me. And now this year, my business is doing way better than the previous year, just by setting goals and transmitting those goals to my team.
Right. So that's funny you mentioned that. I was going to ask do you employ anybody? Do you contract with anybody? Are you solo shop? Like, what's your business structure like right now?
At the very beginning, it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I incorporated my wife as she helped me with the copywriting and with the analyzing Facebook data. Then at some point in time, we added my brother-in-law. So we are a team of 3. And at some point in time, when we were running Facebook ads, we had a virtual assistant based in the Philippines, which really was helping us a lot with managing 12 or 2,000 Facebook fan pages.
Oh, wow. Gosh. Jeez. Is that still running or is that?
No, that
okay,
we let her go because even if we do Facebook nowadays, we don't spend that much time on fan page engagement.
Gotcha. So is it just the 3 of you now?
The 3 of us, it's like a family business. In the LLC, it's just my wife and me, but we fully trust my brother-in-law. He is super smart. He was a top executive at Lowe's for 5-10 years, and he was also laid off. So it was a great opportunity for him to make business with this business model.
Oh, that's really cool. I find that there's quite a few family run or family dynamic businesses in this space. I don't know if it's more or less than the average across America or the globe or anything, but it just seems like there's a lot of husband-wife or kind of brother or like sister, brother-brother kind of relationships that all like kind of work together. I'm curious for you, like what are some of the pros? Like, what are some of the good parts of working with the family?
Yeah, the
piece?
good part is that as it's a family, you trust them already.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that they are going to take good care of the money because it's also part of their money. That you can call them in the middle of the night or on weekends, and they are going to respond in good ways.
Work on a deeper level, right? Yeah.
Sometimes the drawback is that there is no clear line between family and business.
You're right.
And you cannot be that harsh on them as if they were maybe employees or if you outsource them. So it's a fine point.
There'll be clear blowback if you do that.
Blowback, exactly.
Is there anything you do with your wife that to kind of help draw that line, like between work and
I had to
family?
accept at some point that when I trained her, he was far better than me at several things. So I had to let her do by herself the copywriting, for instance, the data crunching, because she was way better analyzing quicker the results and taking decisions, not just on data, but also on intuition, which she has much more than me. So I had to accept that others are better than me and let my ego go away, which was difficult.
Yeah, I think I find there's a lot of very successful entrepreneurs in this space, and they've been the reason for their success is their drive, determination, figuring things out, and their zone of genius. As they start to scale, they become the friction point, because they can't replace themselves because they feel like they have to do everything, right? Or they don't trust people to take over certain tasks enough for them to actually move on to the next level. So but it sounds like you've been able to do that pretty well so far with your wife and your brother-in-law who've come into the play.
And also another interesting thing is that with a team such as the one I have, you can have different ideas, diverse ideas, and even if you don't fully buy that idea, you are willing to give a go, and that works. So having diversity of opinions on initiatives helps.
Gotcha. Yeah. How do you leave work at the office, if you will, when you work directly with your wife?
It's hard because at home with our family, we also have to split some responsibilities. So sometimes I do more of the family activities, like taking kids to school and picking them up, or helping them with some assignments, so that my wife can focus on crunching data and helping me with the ads and so on. So
yeah, it's like, how do
you need to accept that women are great or even better than men, for sure.
I would agree with that 100%. Yeah. Is there anything you mentioned you're kind of needing to scale and replicate some things in your business, whether it's not relying on campaigns or individual ad accounts to kind of replicate yourself out. Is there anything specifically you're looking for in that help? We've got a lot of people that listen to this that might be experts in XYZ thing, or people we might know. Is there specific things you're looking for in those cases?
I would say learning about new hot offers and getting early access to those offers. Being able to be the very first one to test on a specific platform such as YouTube, to get an exclusive at first, then...
I'm curious there because, I know a lot of top offer owners and like a lot of top offers, they're hesitant to give an offer out too early because they want it to perform well, right? So they want to kind of test it themselves a lot before they let media buyers or affiliates get on it, because they don't want something half-baked out there and then they don't come back and test it again once they've improved it. Is there a zone for you where you're like, that's good enough? Or does it gut check? Yeah.
If it's already on a stage in which it has done some preliminary testing, I'm willing to help the vendor to test the offer on a particular channel I run ads, like YouTube.
Gotcha. Yep. And right, I assume that things boil back down to like CPA as well.
Yeah,
right?
having CPA, in some cases a testing budget that helps to get quicker to results.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've seen people doing some different testing budgets with like email list drops and things like that. But it makes total sense to apply that to
other
media
channels,
buyer.
like media buyer side.
Yeah, and that's and then you're probably on the seller side, you're probably getting some guaranteed traffic from yourself too in that case. Versus, they said the test, but we haven't seen anything yet. I hear that a lot. It's like, well, yeah, they've probably got 6 other campaigns they're trying to scale. So you're kind of probably somewhere in the mix, but you just have to wait your turn almost until they've got focus. But if you're paying someone for traffic directly, probably
we can get the results way quicker.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. No, thank you for this, Ernesto. We've covered a lot of different avenues there, which I kind of expected because you've got a diverse background and do a lot of different things. As we wrap this up, though, I was curious for the other Platinums. You're probably going to be meeting at the Platinum Summit coming up. I assume you're going to that.
Yes, I am very much looking forward to
what
that.
be your first one?
The very first one, because the first two, due to the pandemic, they didn't happen. And the previous one, last year, it happened to be on the same date as my younger son's birthday, and he didn't wanted us to miss his birthday. So fortunately, this time it doesn't hit his birthday, so we'll be able to go to Platinum Summit.
Oh, good. No, I'm excited to see you there. It's going to be a good time.
Wonderful, yes.
For the people that will probably see you out there who might be listening to this, like, what are some things that you would encourage them to work on this year in their business?
Focus on the things that you are great and partner with other peers or affiliates that can complement your core competences so that you can make it some joint venture or team across. So don't be a solopreneur.
Yeah, even if you're a solopreneur, like lean on other people, right?
Exactly. Leverage on other people's knowledge, resources.
Awesome. And then do you have any ways for people to get a hold of you if they've got a new hot offer they want you to test?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I would say speak to the ClickBank account manager team. They can get hold of me, and I'm happy to connect.
So I want to talk to Ernesto.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I'm one of the very, very few Ernestos from Mexico.
I think, that's probably very fair. So I heard Ernesto on the podcast. I want to talk to him. We'll get you sorted.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, Ernesto, thank you so much for joining us here in the office.
Thank you very much, Tomas.
Yeah, and for everyone else who's listening, don't please let us know in the comments and like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Let us know if you got any questions for Ernesto. We'll either track them down to get them answered or dive in ourselves if we can. And yeah, thank you so much, Ernesto. Can't wait to see you down in Mexico. And happy scaling, everybody.
Thank you.